I've already talked about 3 of the weapons in my past, well, 3 or 4 weapons in the past 3 weeks. Yeah, that was to do with the US Armory. Now, to speed this series up and so it doesn't drag on forever, I'm going to change the weapons series into a bit of a more quickly updated one. And so this is going to explore the remaining weapons of the US Armory. So, the US went into World War II pretty equipped. They had the M1, the Thompson, the Springfield, the grease gun. Well, they adopted the grease gun, the 1911. And I will speak about all the ones I didn't speak about. So, the ones I'm not going to speak about today are going to be shown at the side. You can find them on my channel and linked in the description. So, without further ado, let's get on to it. Now, to start with something that I said I was going to do 2 weeks ago, the M3 grease gun. Now, the Thompson submachine gun cost a fair bit to produce, roughly $85. So they needed a cheap version, and that's where they come to the M3 grease gun. It was simple, reliable, and cheap. It held 30 rounds in its stick magazine. The M3 original used the dust cap as the safety feature, but then later versions like the M3A1, which is the only later version, put a firing mechanism in there, so you pulled a bolt back instead of closing the dust cap. Either way, they were good guns. Moving on to sidearms, you had the prized M1911A1. Now, the M1911 was, wonder when it was made. Oh yeah, 1911. It held 7 in the stick, 1 in the pipe. Incredibly reliable. 45 ACP could take down someone with ease. The US really liked this weapon because it's so iconic and it's so easy to maintain. Now, onto a weapon that I completely forgot about until when I was planning this video, and that is the M97 trench gun. Now, the US adopted this for World War I use in the trenches, hence the name trench gun, but then it became such an effective weapon they used it throughout World War II as well. Now, this was a pump action shotgun holding 5 or 6 rounds depending on which version you get. And the great thing about it, it could be slam fired. So it could act as an automatic shotgun as long as you kept your aim steady and you didn't have a broken shoulder. Now, the Germans protested this in World War I because they said it was too brutal for frontline combat. But then again, they used gas. Going off topic here. So, 2 guns I mentioned in the previous video, which was about the M4 Sherman, was the Browning 1919 A2 30 caliber machine gun. Now, this had a pretty mediocre fire rate. It wasn't too fast, it wasn't too slow, but it did need a punch. It was about, say, 450, 550 rounds a minute. Belts of about 250 rounds, 300, 500 if you're lucky. And the other Browning machine gun they used was the Browning M2B 50 caliber. This was mainly used for taking out armoured trucks, armoured fighting vehicles, but it proved extremely effective at taking out people. So that's when they adopted it. Now, I wanted to wrap the American weapons up because instead of doing one weapon every week, it would take forever. I've still got to cover Britain, Germany, and the USSR, and Japan. So, that's been a quick overview of the main weapons in World War II. I hope you guys did enjoy. YouTube, do not demonetize me. And I will see you on Sunday for one of the biggest clashes of World War II.